Good morning and welcome to Frank's School. This is the 6th year of Frank's School, 108th day, first video, and only be one today. And I'm going to call it Now What at Frank's School. This is January 3rd, 2018. It's cold, really cold outside. I think it's around 0 right now. There's snow on the ground. Of course, there's ice. Eventually that's going to give way to mud. So I'm coming into that season where surviving is the biggest issue, really, for me and my animals, and then inside work. It's just so difficult to work outside in those conditions. I just finished doing a sort of a state of the school series, is what I call it, which I try to do once every year, and I just finished that. But now, looking forward, what's going to happen now? Well, words is going to continue. That's what I call class vocabulary, and I now am using that with one or two, or maybe just one adult groups. More, you'll see that'll be going on. Gloss is going to continue. Gloss is the name I give to my review of Frank's School. I'm more than halfway through the first year with Gloss. I'm watching the videos and I'm fixing little things, and now and then I stop and make a comment. That's going to continue. Now with Matthew, my apprentice, I think I'm going to stop using the quotes. I'm just going to say he's my apprentice. I mean, that's the name for the relationship. I'm 71, he's 19, and yet we work very closely together. With Matthew, freshman in college, studying sustainability studies. He's working on a paper about polyculture, and he's largely doing that, at least here in the United States part. But that may, we'll see how it goes, but that may spill over to Portugal, where he'll make the comparison to what's going on that he documents here in the United States, and then take a look at what's traditional in part of Portugal. If that's the case, come this summer, I'll teach him Portuguese, which I think I can do. I may start before that. I don't know. So that's maybe. But also with Matthew, building with pallets. That's another subject which he is studying and I'm studying, and we're producing something on it. A book, a paper, a video, something, and vernacular heating systems. Especially the ones in the Alps, or at least in Europe. Again, that if depending how far we go with that, that may involve a trip to Europe in August or September. And for these last two, I really need to learn to use a program called SketchUp, which I think I can do. My neighbor can use it very well, and he's going to teach it to me, I guess. It's just, I mean, it's a good thing to do, at least it's warm. So I got to do that. I'm kind of old to be learning that, but I think I can. Now the spiral I talked about, that I never seem to finish anything, and people say, why don't you just finish something? Well, that seasonal spiral keeps going on, and I go from thing to thing according to the season, and I work on what fits the season. And that spiral is soon going to bring me baby goats. Really, almost any day. I could have baby goats, and then of course we're on that way, and then water. Once the ice lets up and the water starts coming out of the mountain, the irrigation, the drainage, and that leads into the gardens. All that stuff's going to go on, but it's not going on yet. I mean, everything's frozen like iron, as the one hard like iron, as the one Christmas Carol says. All right, these are new. Hydra in my head, like Georgia on my mind. I'm going to tackle that, and this is big. I'm not sure if it's how interesting my viewers are going to find it, but I really feel I must do that. I thought of it as a tangle of nouns. There's a whole bunch of stuff, terms that I want to sort out, that will help me and others, if they wish to, understand why do I think the way I think. Where did I come up with all this stuff? That's going to be a challenge. You know, it's I don't know how much time it's going to take, but it's really the next thing I'm going to turn to. I think probably the very next thing I'm going to turn to in Frank's School. And then there's restoration. That's Portuguese for resurrection. And as I've said before, that movie that I imagine, there's a long playlist in Frank School called Resurrection, where in English I tell the story of this imaginary wordless movie. Well, I intend to do the same, but this time in Portuguese. In a sense, I've already started. Now, that means I'm going to leave my viewers behind for that, who don't speak Portuguese. But so be it. I don't know why I'm so reluctant to start that, because I speak Portuguese very comfortably once I get going. But it's that German expression, aller Anfang ist schwer. Every beginning is hard, and to actually get going, I want to get this done first, I think. But I'm on a bit of a deadline with that in a way, because if someone really wanted to make that movie, they really should start filming in April. Yeah, April would be fine. It wouldn't have to be March, but they would really have to start, pick the site, the location, and start filming in April. And I can't hard to imagine it happening this year, but still in my mind that's there. So those two are going to go on, and then finally, this is very new, the degrowth community on the far side of Hydra. After I get through all those ideas and all those terms and stuff like that, I think I'm going to land, at least in one way, with the term degrowth. And there, I think, I may have found my community. They're young, way younger than me, and they're European. And I'll have more to say about that, but that is so new that I put it on there. We'll see about that. But anyway, there's what's coming. There's what's coming next, really. All right, I've made a shot. Oh, one other thing I was going to say. See if I wrote that down. Yeah, I did. If you want to see the last time that I tried to do something like this, if you would go to the 6-year 67th day first video, that's the last time I tried to explain what was going on in Frank's school. Bye for now.